Okay, so in the last session, what we have discussed about the how to create the GL accounts. Okay, so now GL accounts perspective also we have already seen. Okay, the reconciliation account GL accounts. So how the GL accounts are created in real time, we have already seen that one. Then now let us create the GL accounts which will be relevant for services. Okay, as I said in the last session, in finance, there is no option to post material related information. Okay, so now because what is the quantity, what is the price per unit? Okay, if you want to post such information, we have another module in SAP, that is the material management. Okay, now what I will do now, I will create one or two GL accounts for service related GL accounts. We create the GL accounts. Okay, let's see. Let's go to transaction code FS00. Then let's see. Interest payable. These are the salaries. Okay, then what I will do, I will create a one 01. I'll create. Copy this one. Get 0 SG. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm creating the water supply. Okay, for office. Okay, so what I will do, so we are buying water. Okay, so now for water supplier, we have to make payment. Okay, so by monthly or it depends on the how the agreement it is there. Okay, so other parameters are quite common. Just remember water supply for office purpose. For office. Okay, then let me save this one. Okay, so now what we have done, we have created the GL accounts also. The next step, what is the next step? Creation of vendor master data. Creation of vendor master data. Okay, now understand here carefully. So now the creation of vendor master data, there are scenarios, three possible scenarios are there. Okay. So now, sorry, two possible scenarios are there. Okay. Number one is we can create, we can create vendor within finance, within finance. Then the second one is that we can create vendor for material management. Here you can understand the SAP has given differentiation between the FI vendor and as well as MM vendor here. Okay, so now MM vendor, when I say here, the master data which will be used for your material management. Okay, so the material management where you are procuring your raw materials. Okay, for that purpose you can use. But the same way, the MM vendor, what you have created, you can use that vendor for your FI postings also. But FI vendor, what you have created, you cannot use the FI vendor to your material, your MM vendor. I'll put it here, the note. Okay, at the end, I will update that one. Then to create my finance vendor, okay, the SAP has given different transaction codes, and for to create the vendor, SAP has given different transaction codes. Okay, let's see that one. Create, create, create vendor master data. Create vendor master data. The FK01 is the transaction code. Then to change the vendor, change the vendor master data. Vendor master data is FK02. Then display vendor master data. Then this is the transaction code is the FK03. Remember here, now there are three transaction codes, but now we can create vendors for material management. I will show you what is the difference between FI vendor and as well as vendor. Okay, now if I want to create the vendor creation, I'll copy this one. Creation of vendor master data. Then here XK01 is the transaction code to create the vendor with respective to your material management. Here also XK02, XK03 here. Now, here you can see the X has come into the picture. Then what is the difference between finance vendor and material vendor? If we talk about, then the difference between both FI vendor and as well as the, okay, so vendors. Okay, so the difference between purchasing organization need to assign for the material vendors, but now for finance vendors, the purchasing organization data does not required. Okay, note, I'll put it here. Note, no purchasing except, okay, I'll put it here, as compare with the vendor, all parameters are same except for vendor, except the purchasing. Okay, for for FI vendor, okay, I'll put it because we are talking about only FI. For FI vendor, no need to create, no need to create, or okay, no need to assign, purchasing organization data. Okay, so now no need to assign the purchasing organization segment. Okay, no purchasing data or purchasing segment in the master data segment. Okay, in while creation of vendor master data. But whereas in vendor, when you are creating the vendor, okay, you must have to assign purchasing organization. Okay, without purchasing organization data, the system, okay, I mean you cannot post any material related accounting entries. Okay, as compared with the FI vendor, I'll put it here. As compared with the FI vendor, okay, all parameters are the same For vendor, remember this and all important. For vendor, okay, we must have to, for vendor, we must have to assign purchasing organization segment while creation of vendor master data, because the purchasing organization segment, it consists of the, okay, from where we are purchasing, okay, what is the weighing quantity, I mean weighing mechanism, like kgs, liters, millimeters or square feet, okay. So the all information which will be associated in your purchasing organization data, okay. Now one more note here, understand. Then the FI vendor, okay, okay, I'll put it straightforward. We cannot use FI vendor for postings, for material management, for material management related postings, because remember, because we have not created, the vendor with purchasing organization, Then the similar way, for vendor, if you have created the vendor, okay, we can use this vendor, we can use vendor, okay, we can use vendor for FI postings, for FI related postings, okay, even though we have created, okay, remember, even though we have created the vendor with purchasing organization. So the differentiation between both is that if you create purchasing organization, also the vendor we can use for FI postings, but the similar way you cannot use the vendor which we have created in finance, because the finance vendor does not created with the purchasing organization, because okay, I will show you what is the difference between both, okay. So now maybe if you can see here FK01, I will show you the difference between XK01 so that it will be easy for you to understand in the system. Let me go to here. First, let me display the FK01 finance vendor, which I want to create, where you can see here company code, which is appearing. In order to create this vendor vendor account groups, we must have to specify the account groups. These are the account groups which we have created already in the system. Okay, remember, see, these are the groups, vendor account groups. Okay, then the second one, let me open the one more screen. Go to XK01 transaction code. If you see here, just observe here, this is the FK01 where I want to create the vendor in finance. This is the screen where I want to create a vendor for material management. The difference between both the creation, you can see vendor is a common, company code is the common. In addition to FI vendor creation, there is a one more field which we can able to see here. It's a purchasing organization, but the same field which is not available at FI vendor. Remember, this is the main difference between FI vendor and vendor. Okay, so the purchasing organization data we must have to specify for material management related vendors. Keep in mind. Okay, but now if I discuss this one also, it will not fruitful for you going forward. When we will do the FI and integration, then definitely we need to create the separate vendor for postings. Okay, so that is the reason. Okay, now I'm sorry, I'm not going to discuss about that one related, but I just want to show you the difference between. Okay, now the vendor master creation, go to FK01 is the transaction code, then give the company code Z0 DS, sorry, SG. Remember, the group, which group you want to specify, you can decide that one. These are the groups which we have created. Let me take Z003, since it's a service related. Z003, even if you can go drop down also, it will be available. See now, service vendors. Then enter, give the information. Okay, you can select from the drop down here which one is applicable. Then just random put it. So now street, house number. Okay, you can give it street, give that information. Then country is a mandatory field. Okay, that language which already been selected. Now just press enter once this will be completed, or else you can select this option where you want to move to the next screen. Press enter. Pin code. Okay, it consists of 6 digits. Yeah. Enter. Now here you can see here we are creating vendor master data, but even though there is an option to enable the customer. Okay, now for what purpose this information the SAP has given? Sometimes what will happen? I'm purchasing I'm dealing business with Mahindra and Mahindra. Okay, then they are providing some service to my organization. In such case, these, I mean, the Mahindra and Mahindra will become a vendor to me. Some scenarios, then our organization is going to provide service to Mahindra and Mahindra. In such situations, what will happen? It's a other way around. Okay, we are providing service to them, they are providing back to service us. In such situation, the vendor will become customer, customer will become vendor. In such situation, what we need to do? We must have to create customer as a vendor. I'm sorry, for Mahindra and Mahindra, we need to create a separate master data as a customer. Then we need to assign that customer master data here. Okay, so now what will happen? But now this concept we will discuss once the accounts receivable concept will be implemented. Because now even if I explain also, it will, because if I assign master data, if I will show the reports, then only useful for you. Okay, so now we can assign customer master data, then so that it will make your while making the payments also. Okay, how much you are yet to make the payment, or how much amount which we will receive from the customer. Okay, in one report we can show, system will show both the informations. Okay, no need to view reports separately if that will be the situation. But now, as of now, the customer accounts receivable not yet integrated. Once that will be implemented, we will see this scenario. Enter. Then customer bank accounts information. Oh, sorry, vendor bank account information 01. Give the bank which customer is having. Bank country. Give the India. Okay, India. Then select the bank which one is relevant for you. Then bank account number. Specify anything. Account holder name. X. Sorry. So the reconciliation account, if you remember correctly, we have created. So now here you can see the cash management, it's optional for us. Even though system is asking us to maintain the cash management group, and also it is a required field. If this is the situation, how you can make this as a display field since it is a required field. Okay. Now go to transaction code. Then financial accounting, accounts receivable and accounts payable, vendor master data, preparations. Come to the define account groups with the screen layouts. Then select the vendor which has been created, Z003. Go to details option. Click on company code data, account management. See now here, cash management group, even though it is an optional entry, even though system sometimes it will ask as a required field. How you can do this one? Now click on display. I mean select the display radio button. Save it. See now still it is in active state. In between, okay, in SAP, if you are doing some activity, okay, in between, okay, you have done some setup, then what you need to do, you need to go back and you need to come from the beginning again. Okay, 01, there is no option here. Okay, enter. Sometimes just keying again the details. Let me select from the drop down. Country is in India. Select the HDFC Bank. Then enter. Now you can see here the cash management group. Okay, it is grayed out. Now it is not the required field. Now go to the reconciliation account. Select the reconciliation account. So the reconciliation account related, I have already explained in detail. Now come to the sort key 012. Now the payment terms. This is also important for us. Okay. Anyhow, once the accounts payable will be completed, I mean, in this only. So I'm going to take additional sessions. Okay, for terms of payment or payment terms. We have two types of payment terms are there. Okay. Now there is a installment payment terms and normal terms of payment. Okay, so now you can see here, if I go drop down here, okay, let me select the immediate payment. Today I'm posting invoice, the invoice should become due immediately. This is the one scenario. Or else there are some scenarios. Today I have done purchases for 10,000 rupees. Then once the goods delivery will happen, I'll make 30% payment. Then the rest 70% I will make installment basis. Okay, it's like a EMI process. You are, I think, well and good aware of this one. Then how we can create the installment terms of payments and as well as normal terms of payment regarding that. Okay, we will have a separate session. I will explain in detail. Okay. Then the dunning procedure and all, Okay, if it is applicable, you can specify, but dunning most of the cases will be used for accounts receivable. Okay, even though the dunning will be used for accounts payable also, just keep in mind. Then go back one step back here. Payment methods. Okay, we will discuss about payment methods later on when the change to company code must be completed. See, now there is a one option in SAP. Why system is showing this message? Let me go back here. Now, while creation of the vendor, see now I'm creating the new vendor into the system. That needs to be communicated to the, okay, whoever working in the department. Okay, the FI department. Now, why? Because if I am doing some changes, I am creating one vendor. My manager need to review that vendor and need to approve that vendor. Okay, then only that vendor will be valid. This is the scenario number one. In case after creation of the vendor, without knowing other people's, okay, I am doing some changes, some bank account changes, or else some reconciliation account changes, or some address related changes. But the thing is that with that should be notified to all your team members, and that should be reviewed by your some other person, then get it approved, that one, the changes what you are doing. At the same time, remember, the same person cannot do changes, the same person cannot okay approve the change, because if the same person will have all the, that will be the violation of the rules, okay, as per the legal law. Okay, that is the reason same person should not do the changes, same person should not approve. But now here, now I'm just entering this one. Okay, so I will show you. There are some sensitive fields configuration which is there. Let me go back here. Now accounts payable, define message control for the vendor master data, define number ranges. Here you can see define sensitive fields, dual controls. Here, if I go here, this is the quite scenarios for every business organization. Here already I have configured for the, if the system, I mean, if a person will do the changes for reconciliation account in the vendor master data, then that has approved by, okay, reviewed and approved. In case if terms of payment will get changed in the vendor master data, that's also need to reviewed and approved the person. Then let me create the new entry. Now you can see here drop down. There are n number of fields are available. Now you can, if applicable for you, you can decide, but this will be confirmed by the business. Okay, which field as a sensitive field, point of time, the workflow to be triggered to that particular person, then that will be the business will give that information. Okay. Let now going back. Okay, this is the sensitive fields. Okay, how it will be used, then I will show you. Now I have created, this is the vendor master data. Let me go to display change here. Select all. Here now you can see changes for vendor in company code has not yet been confirmed, because I have created vendor master data. I have communicated, it has been already triggered to the workflow. The person need to, okay, the whoever is the authorized person, he has to review that one. Then they have to confirm back that one. Okay, how to confirm that one? Okay, now first go to transaction code. FK08 is the transaction code. See, confirm changes. Then let me enter. Okay, currently is blocked. Okay, I'm just blocking this one. I'm just moving out. Enter. Now you can see here changes for the sensitive fields. Okay, whether you can See, if you have done some changes, you are not allowed to confirm changes, only to display them. See now, since it is a dual control, because I am doing some changes, I should not be the approver. See, you are not allowed to confirm changes because system has been identified that the user ID is the same for the both cases. Remember. Okay, just for your information. Now let me do the changes. 02. Let me do some changes. Okay. So what I have configured here for sensitive field changes, reconciliation account and terms of payment changes. Let me do the terms of payment related changes. Okay. So this is the payment terms related changes. I'm doing changes from 0012. I'll do the keep it someone immediate. Then I'll do the changes. Let me save this. Okay. Now let me enter here. Now you can see, even though you are not allowed to confirm the changes because I am the same person, I did changes, then I should not be the person to approve the changes. That somebody need to review that one, somebody need to accept that one. Then only these terms of payments will be affected. But until then, you can use the vendor master data. It will not stop you. Okay. Then remember one thing, the vendor master data creation, where we can able to see in, I mean, we are in now ECC 6.0. This concept has been completely removed in S4HANA. Now the vendor need to be created in S4HANA as a business partner. Just for your information, but we will discuss in detail when we will be there into the S4HANA sessions. Just for information. Then now, then document type and the number ranges OBA7. Then what we have discussed about the vendor sensitive fields, creation of vendor master data. Then the next one is that document type, document types and number ranges. Then what are the document types to be required in order to post my vendor documents? Okay. So go to the here, come here, where it is going to start with the, okay, KR is a vendor invoice posting, KZ is a vendor payment, then KA is the vendor document. At least we have to maintain the minimum number ranges for all these documents. Then let's see that KA document type is 17. I believe already we have already created the number ranges. 17, right? 17 already been created, where you can see here 17 for 2023, which we have already created. Then see now current number range, it is ready to use. This is the number range, it is ready to use this number. Okay, the similar way, all the required document types which we have already created. Okay, so no need to the document types and the number ranges. KR, KR is for the vendor invoice, vendor invoice. KZ is the for vendor payment. Then KA is the vendor document for transfer, vendor document for transfer, and this will be used for reversal also. Reversals. Then the next one is that posting keys. is the step number 7. Document and reversal. Then this is the step number 7. Then the next one is that number 8 is a posting keys. Posting keys. So the posting keys for the vendor. 31 is the vendor credit. 31 is the vendor credit. Then 25 is the vendor debit. Vendor debit. The similar way, other transaction codes also are there. Okay. So other posting keys are there. Then come to the now this is the configuration steps what we have already done. Okay. So now no need to. Okay. So now the minimum configuration we have already done. What else to be required? The next. Now I can post the vendor invoices now. But now the payment, every payment need to be performed through bank only. Okay, if the payment amount is a more than 20,000 rupees, there is an Indian law. As per the law, if the more than 20,000 rupees, the payment we can do through the cash transaction, it's a okay violation of the rule as per Indian government. So that is the reason either you can do the check payment or you can do the payment through online transfer. Okay. Now, in order to perform that activity, what I would require? I would require is a first house bank is to be required. Okay. So now bank account is to be required. Then house bank. Now house bank. What is meant by the house bank? Okay. So now before creation of the bank account, we must create two things. One is a house bank. First, you need to create the bank key. Then after that, house bank. Okay. So now, in order to create my house bank, let us think about house bank is a bank where you have the where our organization is having the bank accounts. Okay. Now let us assume there is a one HDFC bank, it is there. Okay, that is located in, let us assume it is in Hyderabad branch. Okay, it's a Panjagutta branch, let us assume. In that branch, the bank is a HDFC bank only. But in that bank, I have a different types of accounts. One is a current account, savings account, as well as loan accounts. Okay, so a fixed deposit account, different kind of accounts are there. The bank accounts are different. House bank is the bank, okay, where our organization is having the bank accounts. Okay, one house bank can have the multiple accounts. Remember, just for your information. Then, in order to create the house bank, then what we would require, the prerequisite is that first one is the need to create step number is the need to create a bank key. Bank key. Okay, what is meant by the bank key? Okay, the bank key is the identification. Okay, every bank will have a separate identification number. Okay, now I'm just telling that it's a HDFC bank. HDFC bank will have a separate identification number. ICICI Bank will have a separate identification number. Okay, with that we must have to create, okay, or we must have to differentiate them by creating the bank key. Okay, so the bank, under the bank key, we will create the house bank. Okay, then the second one is that create bank key. Second one is that create house bank. Third one is that create bank account. So now let us create a bank key. How can I create the bank key? F501 is the transaction code to create the bank key. Then to create the house bank, F512. Then this is also create the bank account also. Then let me go to here. 501. Let me create my bank country India. Then bank key. Let me create Union Bank. UNI 123. Okay, I'm just creating. Now see the bank name, Union Bank of India. Okay, the reason, if it is a man, can create bank street, city, Hyderabad, bank branch, create Swift code and all does not required for us. The Swift code is a similar to in India, we have the IFSC code, right? The similar way the bank has given, okay, Swift code, okay, when you are transferring the payment to other countries. Then what we have done, I have created the bank key now. Then under the bank key, now I am going to create the bank house bank. Remember company code, use the company code, enter. Then click on the new entry. See now house bank. I am creating house bank now. Click on the new entries. Union Bank, right? Union Bank of India. Put it here like this. Bank country is in India. What is the bank key? India. Then select the bank key what you have created. See now, first we need to create a bank key. Then afterwards you need to go for the house bank creation. Save it. Now come to the bank account creation. The bank account is something what bank has given the account number to you. Okay, the bank will give the everywhere if you open a new bank account, the bank will give the particular bank account number. Okay, so now it consists of okay your passbook or okay if you log in into your net banking also, it will you can identify what is your bank account number. Then remember here up to bank account, bank key and house bank creation as well as bank accounts creation in ECC 6.0. It's a consulting activity. But now in S4 HANA, bank key and house bank only we can able to create in S4 HANA system. But now bank accounts, it's not the okay, it's not the consulting activity. It will be the end user activity because that will be a master data in S4 HANA. Okay, just for your information. But we will discuss that one. Then UNI, see, I'll put it is the current account. Union Bank of India current account. Okay, I'll just create like this. Then the bank account number, what bank has been offered to you. Let us assume alternative account number. Okay, if this is the more than 18 characters and there is a some other things, okay, this will be used, but this does not require. Then IN. Then for this one, I have not created the bank account at this moment. The GL account need to be assigned to this vendor master to this bank account. Go to FS00. Let me create the bank account here. Bank related GL account. 5. Then here I'll create a bank. Union Bank. Union Bank. GL. Then other parameters are quite common. Check, make sure that this should be G005. Now the GL account I have created, I need to associate that GL account into my bank master data. Remember, 7. Remember, the GL account what I have assigned here, this is my the GL account which we have assigned in the bank account. That is called as a main bank GL account. Then the main bank GL account is always equal. Okay, the main bank GL account balance is equal to always with our bank balance. Our bank. Now here what I have mentioned, this is the GL account which is associated into your bank account. For this bank related postings, this bank account related postings, it will hit to the GL account, this GL account. Now let us assume this bank account, I will give, understand here, SAP bank account. What is that? Union Bank. Union Bank, it is there. Then this is the GL account, what it has been associated. Now this is the account number, bank account number. This is the GL account, what we have given here. Bank account number. This is the GL account, what I have given. Then now here, if you can go here, GL account. Okay. Now the balance, let us assume in SAP, the bank, the GL balance is main bank GL, main bank GL balances, let us assume is it 90,000 rupees it is there. Then this is the bank account which is in SAP. Remember. Then when you log in into the net banking, you should have the same account number. I mean, the same account number will be there. But now GL account will not be associated. Then here also it should be the 90,000 rupees. That is what the meaning of here is that one. When you log in into the net banking, your account balance should be 90,000. Then when you see the SAP balance also, it should be equal. Both balances should be equal. In case if the both balances does not match, there will be some reconciliation is mismatch will be happen. I mean, you need to identify that one where the mismatch which has been happened. This is the important one. Okay. Now what we have done, we have created. Okay, just this is the just for your information only. Okay, just for your information. What is meant by the main bank GL account? Okay, then and now come to the creation of checks. Okay, what we have done, I have created the for house banks, I have created the bank key, bank account. The next one is that creation of check lots. I have to create the check lots. Then I'll put it all the steps here. Then the next one is that. So now the every bank will issue the check numbers. Okay, that check numbers I must feed into the system. Then I have to issue the check numbers through the system. Okay, then okay, creation of check lots in the system. Okay, then let's see. Let's post the line items into the system. Let's see now. Okay, we have created. Okay, first let me create the check lots also. As of now, I have not created any check lots. Let me go to the transaction code /m F110. Here I can go here environment, then check information, okay, number ranges, then house bank. What is the house bank which you have created? See, Union Bank of India. Account ID. See now, whether it's a current account, if you have a multiple accounts, you can choose under which account you want to create the check lots. Enter, go to the change. Now create the check lots. What bank has been offered? Then lot number 1. What is the check number? The check numbers which bank has been offered. Okay, now let us see this one. 100, 100. Because the check, if you remember, check number is a 6 characters. Okay, the digit should be a create 001. Then I'll give this number. Okay, 100 leaves checkbook has given by the bank. The next lot number we don't know. What would be the next lot number? You can see here non-sequential option. What is mean by the non-sequential here? Okay, the first check number, if I issue check number 9,01,000, the next check number would be a 9,02,000. In case I do not want to follow the sequence, first I will issue 9,01,000, then after that then I will issue the 9,10,000, 9,20,000 also I will issue, because the sequential process which I will not follow. If there will be a such scenario, then you can select this option, non-sequential option. Okay, then let me select this one. If you do not select this option, system does not allow you to, okay, follow the alternative, follow the non-sequential process. Make sure that short information, I'll give the checks issued by in bank. The date I'll give the today's date when the checks has been issued. Enter. Then save it. Okay. Remember, I have selected is a non-sequential option. Then I have created a checks. Okay, if I want to make the payment to the vendors. Then the next one is that, okay, when I want to make the payment to the vendors, okay, because the required setup already done. Now, if I want to make the payment, the vendor has given service to me. I want to make the payment to the vendor amount. Okay, then in such situation, in SAP, there are two ways are there. One is you can make the payment through manual. The second one is that automatic payment. Okay, in the upcoming session, we will see that one. Okay, first we'll see the checks related, how to issue the checks. Okay, how to we can encash the check. Okay, how to update the encashment date in the check register, and how to view the check register. How to we can void the check. Okay, we will see that in the upcoming session. Once that will be completed, we'll move to the automatic payment program. Okay, we'll continue the session tomorrow. Okay, then.